the side of the bus, remember, you're only checking one side for the CDL part of the test, and that's going to be the passenger side. So the first thing you want to check is going to be the front mirror. And you want to grab it and make sure it's secure, and you're checking it to make sure it's clean, it's not cracked, and it's not missing any bolts, and none of them are loose. The next thing you're going to be checking is the front door. You want to make sure that it functions properly, and you can just open and close it with your hands. You want to look up at the top. You're looking at the hinges, and you're trying to make sure they're not broken or cracked. And finally, you're going to check the door glass and make sure it's not cracked or broken. Then you're going to want to move on to the front tire area. The first thing you check is to make sure there's no air leaks from the front brakes or suspension, so you're just going to want to listen. You don't hear any air leaks, so you know you're good. My strategy for doing the tire is to start on the inside and work my way out. So I start off with the oil seal, which is right here. You want to make sure that it's not cracked, that none of the bolts are loose or missing, and that it's not leaking anything. Next, I'll put my glove on so I don't get dirty. You're going to be checking the lug nuts, and you want to make sure that they're not cracked, loose, or missing, and each one is secure. And you want to make sure that there's no rust around them. Then you check the rim. You want to make sure there are no bends, cracks, or non-factory welds. The tire itself comes next. You want to scan the face of the tire and make sure there are no cuts or bulges. And you want to make sure you have at least 2 32nds of an inch of tread in the major grooves. No, it's 4. 4 in the front, 2 in the back. And you're making sure that there are no recaps or retreads. And finally, you want to check the air pressure. For the test, you're not actually going to check it. You're going to explain how to check it. But I'm going to show you in case you don't know, so you know how to explain it. This is an air pressure gauge. This little white thing comes out and tells you how many pounds of pressure are in the tire. You want it to be about 90. So you find the valve stem, which is going to be in one of the holes of the rim, and you unscrew the cap. You just put the gauge on it. It pops out, and we have exactly 90. And make sure to put the cap back. I'll do that later. The next thing we're going to do is check the fuel area. You're going to open the door and just make sure that the cap is secure and that it's not leaking any diesel. And we're good. So shut it. And then we're going to move all the way to the back tire. The back tire is almost the same as the front with a few small differences. The first thing, again, you want to do is listen to the brakes and suspension and make sure you don't hear any leaks. We're good. Again, start on the inside. The back tires have an axle seal and not a hub oil seal like the front. So you want to check the axle seal, make sure it's not cracked or damaged, make sure each bolt is there and it's not loose or missing, and make sure it's not leaking. You want to check each individual lug nut, make sure that it's not cracked, missing, loose, or that there's any rust around any of them. You want to check the rim, make sure that there are no cracks, bends, or non-factory welds. Check the face of the tire for cuts or bulges. There are none. You're gonna want to check the tire air pressure. You do that exactly the same as you do in the front, so I'm not going to show you on this one. You want to reach in and feel and make sure you have 2 32nds of an inch of tread and that the tires are not recapped or retreaded. The suspension in this bus is a little bit low, so I can't reach my hand in there. But you want to reach in there and feel between the tires and make sure that there's no debris between the dual tires. And I mentioned that we don't have spacers because we have an inverted hub.